Alright guys, so I'm here with my little 16-foot runabout that I've converted with the pods on the back and converted to a cuddy cabin. And I'm just going to go through a few of the features of the boat and show you before we take it down to the lake. So at the back here we've got these little storage tanks at the back of the boat, one on each side. And basically you can just throw if your fish you catch in there or anything that you don't mind getting wet because the water just goes through these grooves on the back hatch here. But there's one on both sides and you can get into that one. I just store like chain or ropes or whatever for anchoring out the back of the boat in there. I've also got these rod holders in the side of the boat that I've put in, and they're basically just a 1.5-inch piece of pipe. I just drilled a hole through and then put a block of wood on the inside, and they just go down into the boat so I can stick the rods in there. And then I've got the downriggers here that go out when I'm fishing for salmon or even trolling in a lake. I can use the cannonballs to take it down if I want to go a little deeper in the lakes. And I've just got this cap here that goes over top. Just to seal it so that if we're running along, the water splashing up on the side of the boat don't get water into the boat. So this is how I run on my way out. I've just got the fishing rod in the rod holder at the back here, and then I've got the downrigger just swings straight up. Once we get out to the place where we're going to be fishing, the downrigger just drops down, and then I just basically take the rod, and we've got these rod holders in the side, and just sits like that outside the edge of the boat there. And when you catch fish, you can just lean over, grab the rod, and then play the fish at the back of the boat. And so on the inside of the boat here, we've got down underneath, I've got the 2-stroke oil on one side and the 4-stroke oil on the other side for the kicker. Eventually I hope to replace the 2-stroke Mariner engine with a 4-stroke, and then I won't need one of these tanks. We also got the battery, and right now I'm storing the 2-stroke oil down in the bottom. Underneath this seat here, I've got another storage area. I've stored some extra cannonballs, some fishing gear, and that sort of thing. You can put these seats in, so they either come out like this side, where we've basically just taken the seat out, the backrest and the seat, or you can put them in, and they're quite easy to pull out. You just basically pull them forward and lift up, and then the seat comes out. So when you're fishing, it gives you some room to stand at the back of the boat. Or if you're just going out for a day cruise and you want to have 4 people with you, you can sit a couple people back here and a couple people up front. I drilled these holes in the sides and screwed these little cups on the side here just to throw lures or whatever in, and I usually just put a cannonball in each one of those. I've also got some storage underneath the seats, as you can see. One is a tool case, and then a fishing tackle box underneath, as well as where we put our paddle, our net, and I can store fishing rods up underneath the side as well. Moving up to the captain's seat, we've got the seat here at the controls, the steering wheel, and gauges, and a little sort of shelf here just to throw junk in when you're running along. And I've got this fold down screen here, and usually I just throw my tablet in there, and I've got my charts and stuff on the tablet. We've got these little side cubbies here for maps or whatever else you want to put in there. And up front where we put the Cuddy Cabin on, some little side shelves, and then the sleeping area. The bench that's up front there just fits into this area here and makes it into a bed so 2 people can sleep comfortably up there. And we've slept 2 adults and a child up here quite comfortably. Underneath this seat on the right hand side, we've got the outhouse, basically, just a little porta potty, and just some other storage thrown in there. And then on the other side, underneath this one is just where we put all the life jackets and things like that. Just another big storage bin. Up under the center here is actually where the gas tank is, and in the very, very front there's another cushion that lifts out. which I just throw extra buoys and things like that I don't use very often in the boat. And then we've got our little hatch here that gets us out onto the front. It's got this little clip. You just basically push up on it and you can go out the front. And sometimes I run with it like that, just clip it on that screw that's there, so that it gets a little bit of air through the boat, and then it's just nicer when it's a hot day. You can run with the hatch just slightly open and it's still locked so it can't fly open. We also have this little sort of shelf on top of the windshield here. Alright, so as you can see here, we've got these little shelves that just swing up, and I can just use those when I'm going along, and then they just swing down. And if we want to sleep in the front, or they actually do swing all the way up as well, so that it can block off the front cabin. When we're leaving the boat, we can actually put a door in here. The other side has one that swings up as well and seals off this whole entire front area, so the cabin can be locked just by this key at the top here, so that we can put anything that we want just not left out in the open in the back of the boat here, or just in the cover, but then it's actually in a locked sort of area in the cuddy cabin. But then when you're running, you just throw it down like that and just sit in here. This boat actually has remarkable visibility, because number one, you're sitting up higher than you normally would, because you'd be sitting down sort of at the base of the seat normally. So we moved that up with this box here, and you're sitting probably about 12 inches higher than normal. And then when you put the cuddy cabin on, I can sit here for you in the driver's seat. And this is basically the camera's right at eye height, so you can see I've got really good visibility all the way around, and the boat's sitting basically the same level that it would be sitting on the water right now on the trailer. So quite good visibility, as well as the nice cuddy cabin up in the front here. And then swinging this piece up gives you a nice big dash for putting things on there if you want to put some, like a map or a chart or something on there, you know, throwing whatever you want when you're running along, and just so it sits up like that. And like I said, you can do that on both sides. When you're running along, we quite often have both those up and just throw stuff up on top of there. And as long as it's not too rough, stuff stays up there quite good. This cuddy cabin up here can sleep 2 adults and a child. We quite often take this out for the weekend, and it's got about 6'4", I think, of length here from where the door would be to the front of the cabin there. So your feet are kind of squished together for the 2 adults, but we just put the child in the middle and the 1 adult on each side, and then with our heads at this end and the feet down at the other end there. And with the gas tank up in the front of the boat here, if it's about half full, the boat sits almost perfectly level. And this top here comes down quite easily. Or actually what we do is we leave this cover up right now. If we're out fishing and it's hot, you can just drop it down. But all you need to do then is pull this stick out of here. Just take that out. And then this cover just flops forward, and you can just fold it up and put a bungee on it. It just folds forward like that. You just roll it up, put a bungee on it, and then the back of the boat's all open. See if I can show you. So yeah, basically then we have this whole area that's open at the back of the boat, and if it gets sunny, then we just basically take this, flop it back out, and stick that stick back in. Now, if we want to take it completely off, we can quite easily. Just take this one screw at each side. This then slides out, and it's just clipped in at the front. Up there, just slides to the side and comes off. So no water, if it comes up on the top, can get underneath, because it has to come over the top because it's sealed. But basically that's how this canvas comes on and off. It's quite easy. And then if I want to just put the stick back in, and all this stick does is holds it tight when you're running. If you don't have this stick in, it tends to flap a little bit. So we just put the stick in here, it just pushes that back bar back so that it doesn't flap in the wind when we're running along. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm just going to leave you with a few photos of the exterior of the boat here. And if you like these types of videos, please subscribe to my channel. Also, I will be doing a sea trial for this boat in the next week or so, and I'll post that for you as well. Have a great day and happy boating! that sits in the middle here that I've got sitting there in the front, that just clips onto these two pins, and then a centerpiece so that it actually seals off the Cuddy Cabin. So if I'm leaving the boat, I'm going for a hike or something, it totally seals the Cuddy Cabin off, and then you have to use this key at the top here to unlock it to get into the Cuddy Cabin. I mean, it's not 100% secure, but it just keeps people from going in there and stealing stuff out of the boat. They'd have to make an effort to do it, and hopefully somebody would be noticing them do it. I also put this rear view mirror on here. This rear view mirror just so that I can see out the back of the boat, and if I've got like someone water skiing or something out there, I can see back. And we actually do hook our water ski rope just right onto the top of the Cuddy Cabin here. When I fiberglassed it, I fiberglassed a large metal plate in here that's screwed through and bolted through, so that made this piece really strong, so I could put a tow rope on it. And this rolled up piece here just drops down, and we've got some side curtains that just snap onto these little snaps, and the whole back then becomes enclosed as well, so that when we're sleeping on here, it keeps out the mosquitoes and any other bugs like this dumb bee that's buzzing around in here. But that's it. Basically all the little features of the boat. This little box back here is a Bluetooth depth sounder that I use. It works quite well, so that I can use my phone or my tablet, and just goes back to the sending unit at the back of the boat. So if you guys have any comments, please drop them below, and if you subscribe to my channel, you'll see I have all my builds that I've got going right now. And I'm going to be posting a